And hello, everyone. Welcome to another power scanning session. It is May 16, 2026. And once again, today, we will be on the lookout for the most interesting swing trading setups for the week and the weeks ahead. My name is Daniel, and I will be your moderator throughout the session. And once again, I'm greeting you today from our beautiful office here in downtown Montreal. It's an amazing day today. The sun is out. It's warmish. Actually, it's really nice and warm. It's about 20 degrees centigrade, which is, I think, for the first time after the winter, we had some really warmer temperatures. It's a beautiful day, and you may see it on my beautiful shirt here. Today is a big sports event happening in Montreal. It's the playoffs, Game 6 in the NHL playoffs, Montreal against Buffalo, and Montreal. Fingers crossed. I'm not gonna try to jinx anything. Might have the chance to win this series tonight. It's an elimination game, Game 6 in Montreal. It's gonna be a crazy night. I'm already getting into the mood, and I can't wait to watch it tonight. So, anyways, I don't want to digress too much. Where are you guys calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? So please put your location into the Q&A box. I do see many familiar faces. So let's see, who do we have today? All right, we have Van from, I believe. Oh, Van, you're from Florida. I remember this. Yeah, Van from Florida. Hey, Van, how's it going? I'm sorry Tampa lost. I think you're actually from Tampa. All right. Well, it happens. Who else do we ask? Kevin says, "What's shaking, Daniel Nicholas? Greetings from North Carolina." Hey, Kevin. How how are you? And I think I'm not sure where Raleigh is. Is Raleigh in South Carolina? I believe it is. No, I think it's in North Carolina, isn't it? Maybe Kevin, you can correct me if that's wrong. But should the Habs Montreal win tonight, we will be playing the Hurricanes, Carolina Hurricanes in the next round, which is going to be a whole different story. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. Andrea from Horst and Andrea from Munich. Hey guys, how are you? Nice to have you. Daryl says he's greeting from San Francisco. Very nice. Hey Daryl, 9 a.m. breakfast time for you once again. Oliver from hot Singapore. Wow. Thanks, Oliver, for staying up. I remember last time, I think it was midnight in Singapore when we had the session. Was it 2 a.m.? I forget, but it was definitely nighttime over there. Andrea says hello from Hamburg. Nice to see you. And she's saying it's rainy and cold in Hamburg. Ah, well, we've had cold temperatures in Montreal for the last, I don't know, 5 months, give or take. So I'm happy for our warm temperatures. So even if it's cold in Hamburg. Chris is saying hello from Tampa, Florida. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Aubrey from Cyprus, only 21 degrees. Oh, that's unseasonably cold, isn't it, Aubrey? I hope your heating system is working. Oh, Ralph says hello
21
from
here
the
right now, Daniel.
yes, that's right. It's an awesome day. Thanks, Nicholas. Ralph is saying hello from the Black Forest in Germany, and Kevin is saying Raleigh is from North Carolina. Okay, cool, perfect. So yeah, are you a Hurricanes fan? Bring it. It's all right. We'll see. We'll see next one. Well, first things first. I don't want to jinx anything. Well, we'll see. I'll let you guys know how the game went tonight. Oliver says it's correct. 12 a.m. midnight, I believe, if that's what I remember from Singapore. Earl is saying hello from New Jersey. Hey, Earl, how's it going? And Aubrey says it's already evening. That's why it's 21 degrees in Cyprus. All right, perfect. I guess I don't want to talk too much about the weather. Thanks for sharing your location. Let's get into today's session. So, first off, today, as always, on Saturdays, we will be looking for swing trades. The swing trades has a limited duration. It's anywhere between 1 and 20 weeks, but the exact duration is not important. What's important when it comes to swing trading is that swing trades need to be managed. You should check up on your trades ideally every day to see if you need to adjust your position, if you perhaps have to close your position, or perhaps you want to add to your position. So this is really important when it comes to swing trading. It's not a buy and hold investment or a buy and forget investment. Swing trades need to be monitored. Also, what we will be doing today is called our 13 minutes strategy. Once again, the number itself is not important. What's important is that it is something you can do within a very small time frame, a couple of minutes every day. And oftentimes, you can do this after work or perhaps in the morning before the market opens. Spend a couple of minutes, go through the scanner, see which symbols have become interesting. Then wait until the market opens at 9:30. See if the setup is still interesting, because sometimes the market gaps up or gaps down or something is happening. setups become irrelevant. You wait until the market opens, and if still everything lines up, what will you do? Well, you will then execute your trade. Either directly through the underlying, buying or selling the stock, perhaps through an options play, options buying play, or an options selling play. It's up to you. But the important thing is, this is something you can do. You can do in just a few minutes every single day. Now, also, a quick introductions, perhaps for the ones out there who are seeing me and us today for the very first time. We are tradingindicators.com. And indeed, if you are seeing us today for the very first time, please put a 1 into the Q&A box so that we can I can give you a personal hello as well. So we are tradingindicators.com. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side. This is an older picture. Doesn't matter. And together with Homer here in the middle, we have created trading indicators about 10 years ago. And about halfway through our journey, like 5 to 6 years ago, Niklas has joined us, and he's one of our lead developers ever since. And Niklas is also in the room today looking out for your questions. And this brings me to the next thing I wanted to mention. If you have any questions or symbol requests, please don't be shy. Put your question into the Q&A box, and we'll be more than happy to, go through your questions, address your questions as we proceed with this presentation. All right. Before we get into the markets, a quick reminder, there we go, that trading does contain risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, so with this out of the way, a couple of quick housekeeping items. I'm going to keep it short, I promise. First off, what we will be doing today is to interactively scan using or interactively scan for swing trading setups using our great liquidity view dashboard. Now, it would be best if you followed along. So if you already have access to the dashboard, of course, you can follow along. If you don't have access to the dashboard yet, you can sign up for a free trial right now, right here now, using this link below. It's tradingindicators.com/view. And Niklas, please put this link into the chat if you don't mind. So tradingindicators.com/view.
Yep, will do.
Thanks. To sign up for this free trial, you will have to put your payment information into the form, but you will not be charged in that week. You can cancel at any time before the week's up. But of course, if you want to stay on, we have interesting monthly and yearly options for you. And the cool thing is, this happens instantaneously. So you will get instant access. Will take perhaps 1 minute, and you can use the dashboard and follow along interactively. Secondly, we do have a bootcamp available, and this is mainly for the ones who are already using the dashboard at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp. Check it out. It's very comprehensive. It's 3 hours long. It took us a long time to record. It was very exhausting, and I'm afraid I may have to re-record it in the next couple of months. And the reason is that, well, we've made so many new features, or we integrated so many new features since this bootcamp, and this bootcamp is not even that old. That shows you how lively our dashboard is. We get so many cool ideas, primarily from you, and we're trying to put as many of those into the dashboard as we see fit. All right, 2 more things. We do have a Discord channel at tradingindicators.com/Discord. That link will also be in the chat. Thanks, Niklas, for doing this. Check it out. We are posting some setups there, mainly for day trading, but some is also for swing trading as well. And our ebook is available at tradingindicators.com/power-of-3. In this ebook, we are detailing more of the setups that we typically scan for. And lastly, if you have any feedback, please don't be shy. Put your feedback into the Q&A box. Send it to us by email. Let us know what this feedback is, and we'll be more than happy to integrate your suggestions into a future version of the dashboard. And in fact, we're going to show you a feature right now, which I showcased a few times already, which came directly from feedback I have received, I believe, maybe 1 week ago, perhaps 2 weeks ago, I forget, by Paula. I'm not sure if Paula's in the room. So yeah, your feedback is what drives the future development of the dashboard. All right. So now, without further ado, let's start with the market review. So I'm going to switch over to Liquidity View. There we go. And we're going to start with the SPY, the S&P that tracks the ETF that tracks the S&P 500s. There we go. It's opening up. And what do we see? Well, ignore my strange drawing here. I'm going to come back to this in a second. In fact, let me just quickly hide this. There we go. Um, because I want you to focus on something you see, very faint, but it's visible here on our trend radar indicator. Of course, last week once again was quite bullish, all-time highs on Thursday, but Friday something happened. First of all, it was a bearish day, so we closed lower than we closed the day before, even though the candle, no, it was even yet, it was a bearish candle on a bearish day. But we also saw something here on trend rate. Let me just zoom in a little bit. What do we see here? Well, for the first time since April 7, we saw a sign, a faint sign, a light sign of a pullback. So, and I mentioned it, I don't know when it was, I think it was last week somewhere. I mentioned it that this period where we saw all green in trend radar in the SPY was really long. It was like, I don't know, a month long with no pullback whatsoever. That was quite unprecedented. So even if I go back a little bit in the SPY, this hasn't happened in ages. So, and I called it, I said, hey, it is overdue. A pullback is overdue. And I believe this could develop into something a bit deeper. If it does, I think I see this as a very interesting opportunity to get some long exposure in the SPY for swing trading purposes. So I think it's not ripe yet. It's going to, in my view, perhaps come down a bit further. And if it does, I will probably look for longs here in the SPY, either through options or perhaps as a direct trade, anticipating that this uptrend in which we're in is going to continue in the interim, but I'm waiting for a pullback for prices to not be so extended anymore. You can see it here, how far still prices are away from our average lines here of MA Rush. The lines are all the way down here at 693. Prices right now at 740 or 745. So really extend very far away from our average lines. All right. And the idea, of course, is, let me bring my beautiful drawing back. The idea, of course, is that if we do see a pullback, something more meaningful, that then we will enter into a position, then we anticipate another leg up in this very bullish recovery from the lows here, from this V shape that we saw a couple of months in the market. All right, so that was the SPY. Let's go to the QQQ, the NASDAQ 100 ETF. There we go. Very similar story here, also here for the very first time, a bit of a, a faint sign of a bit of a pullback. One little square here, red, in an otherwise all green area. First, this is a level 1 pullback. It's very shallow still, so I'm waiting for more. But what's also remarkable is that, when we pointed out, when was it last time? I think on Tuesday, but also last week in the same session, that this trend basically has gone up in a straight line without much deviation from the straight line. That is quite rare. Normally trends, they wiggle a little bit, they go up and down. There's no such straight line. So I found this remarkable, but for the first time now, the last candle actually broke below this line. I know it doesn't mean much, but just wanted to point it out that, hey, perhaps we're going to see a bit more volatility in the market, a few more bigger swings in both directions, up or down, instead of just having a straight line. So I personally will wait for this here in the QQQ. And even more interesting than the Qs and the SPY, which I think they're forming something right now, something is boiling there, is the IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF. Check this one out. Here, I'm going to focus first on our trend radar indicator underneath the price chart. Here we can already see level 3 pullback. That's what I would like to see. I think this could even go a bit further. And if prices indeed would come down back to this former resistance level, which was broken back here on April 17, I think this could be a really interesting long opportunity in the Russell 2000. This would be my entry level around here. If we get there, looking for a long trade, anticipating that, okay, and in the medium term, even if we see short-term pullbacks, this uptrend is going to continue. All right, so that was the Russell. Now let's switch gear towards oil. USO, the United States Oil Fund. What do we see here? All right, so these trend lines were drawn by me a while back. So these parallel lines, I think we drew these, I don't know when, but a couple of weeks ago. And I saw this as a technical pattern on the chart. So what we see here is that we used to be in a parallel trend channel, basically horizontally trading, oscillating in between this horizontal trend channel. And this is now morphed into an upwards facing trend channel. Our trend switched to bullish. We broke above this horizontal channel here, and now we are in an uptrend. And of course, in an uptrend, especially if you have this kind of parallel formation within an uptrend, when do you want to, what kind of trades are you typically would look for? Well, I would first of all look for long trades because we are bullish, but not blindly. I would look for trades when prices are approaching the lower end of this trend channel, like here and here and here, like last week. So we caught this out last week and it worked out beautifully. So prices bounced off this lower end towards the middle of this trend channel here, now trading right in the middle. What would I do now? Would I go long right now again? Probably not. That to me is now already too expensive. Would I short it if price come all the way up here? Probably neither, because we are bullish and I don't really want to go against the trend. That's something I discipline myself on. I want to trade with the trend, not against it, to increase my odds of having a successful trade. All right, so that's what's going on with oil. I would wait patiently, perhaps for another pullback, maybe another level 3 pullback within this otherwise very bullish trend channel here. All right, moving on, gold. Gold, I'm telling you right now, is going to be part of today's discussion when it comes to our next setups. Why is that? Let's check it out. So GLD, the gold spider ETF, let's check it out. So we had a bit of quite a down day on Friday. But when I say quite a down day, it's all relative, of course, because if you look at Trend Radar, nothing much has changed. We basically went from all green a couple of days ago to 4 levels red. This is a level for pullback. Now coming closer once again to this lower end of this channel here. And I see this as another opportunity to potentially enter into a long trade, anticipating that we may bounce off this lower level here of the support level towards higher price levels, especially since we have this down gap here. So down gaps, even though the name suggests otherwise, but down gaps are bullish patterns. Why? Because gaps tend to get filled over time. And if this gap were to get filled, where would price need to go? We need to go all the way at least to the 427 price level. So to me, lots of things are coming together here. And also what I found interesting is, just looking at Trend Radar, you know how much I like this indicator, but let me just scroll back a little bit and just try to observe with me when the last time was that we went deeper than level 4, than 4 levels down. So these are 4 levels down. These are 3 levels down, 3, 3, and here 4. Let me see. Let me just scroll back. When was the last time gold went more than 4 levels down? Look at this. How far I have to go back? Here, on this day, October 2023. That's a long time ago. Last time gold was there, October 2023. So far, 4 levels down has proven to be quite a good entry point. And imagine you would have traded all these pullbacks along the way. You would have made a lot of cash. But of course, there's no guarantees that this will continue. It will break eventually, for sure. But you know what? I'm an optimistic kind of person. I think gold will bounce again, and potentially I will be looking for longs in GLD or maybe some other symbols. There's some other interesting individual stocks you could pick for a potential long entry when the market opens on Monday. All right, so that was gold. Let's switch over now to SLV, silver. What's going on with silver? So silver has responded nicely to what we drew here. So my theory was that we have entered into some sort of sideways consolidation in silver. You can see it here, these somewhat parallel blue lines. I meant them to be drawn parallel, but they're a bit sloping. But you can see it, it's almost parallel. And every time I thought, hey, when price came down to the lower end of these parallel lines, perhaps these could be interesting long opportunities. Why long? Because the overarching trend is bullish. There's no doubt about it. Silver is bullish. It's very volatile right now, bouncing back and forth here, but overall, it's bullish. And the way I would play this, whenever we come down, and you can see this candle on Friday. We came down quite a bit on Friday. And then we come down and get close to this blue line. This could be an interesting long opportunity, similar to gold. And what I also liked about this symbol, or many silver stocks in general, is that if we, let's say we were to play this to the long side, there's one particular aspect which stands out. Look at the options prices for SLV. We can see this here in our dashboard by means of the heat index. It's a column you can enable. It is 12.15. So as a quick recap, what does that mean? So 12.15 means that currently, this of course is for Friday's data, the market is closed right now, but currently one would need to pay roughly 12% or 12.15% for options of 30 days till expiration at the money. That is a high premium. This premium is only charged if the market, of course, expects a lot of volatility. That's why options are, they're expensive. But I believe we have a clear bias in silver, which is to the upside. So one way to play this is either to sell put options outright as a cash secured put, if you are willing to, take the risk that, hey, there might be a lot of downside if we actually lose this channel. That's not what I believe will happen, but of course there's a possibility. Or perhaps do some sort of credit spread play, bull put spreads of some sorts to play this the setup here to the long side, perhaps with credit spreads with a limited risk option there by basically selling puts at the money somewhere like around this, collecting the premium and buying some cheaper puts out of the money just for getting some insurance and protection for your downside risk. Very interesting for me. I might be acting on this on Monday, depending how the market opens. And I will let you guys know in the Discord channel. The link is in the chat if I do so on Monday. All right. So that was silver. And the last symbol that I wanted to look at is Bitcoin, BTC. Let's take a quick look here in Bitcoin. And what do we see? Well, I didn't see quite yet the follow through, which I hope to see after we broke above this very crucial cluster of levels here, spreading from 74,000 all the way to 75,000, 76,000. This hasn't happened. Bitcoin basically stalled out last week. Lots of back and forth, lots of sideways chopping in Bitcoin. And if you look at today's market data, this candle here is Friday's close data, but if you look at today's data on the live chart, we see, it's down to 78,200. So another move towards this, I guess, greenish level here. I think it's still okay. As long as we hold above this green level here, I think the bulls are in charge, and we're going to see more bullish action afterwards, more action to the upside. But of course, we need to hold this level. So hopefully this is just a little pause in this recovery phase, and we're going to see another push higher up. When I say hopeful, I'm talking about myself mainly because I do have a long strategic position in Bitcoin. I want Bitcoin to recover for my position to recover as well. All right, so this is my take on the market. Let me quickly see if there are any questions that came in. Nicholas, are there any questions that you can see right now? I see one that's regarding Bitcoin. If you were in a swing trade,
I was muted. We have one not about Bitcoin, but about TJX.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna get to TJX in a bit, Oliver. Yeah, it's we're gonna review quickly. This was one of our trades, I believe, last week. It's on our list. We're gonna review this in a second. And Niels, real quick for the swing trade there in Bitcoin. How would you swing trade it? Would I close it at 74,000? As a swing trade, probably. Yeah. Once it goes below this level, I think we may see more downside action. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit hard. It's not a clean swing trading setup. You can see also here, this is a really lengthy recovery. To me, Bitcoin is more from a strategic point of view. I have it for a long-term, as a long-term position. I would not close my position. In fact, I bought more Bitcoin when it came down to 70,000 on this level here, or fractional Bitcoins, of course. At that point, I believe it will recover. But from a swing trading point of view, yes, the key level is this one here, 74,000, maybe a bit below this. I would probably close this position and then reestablish it perhaps once we see a new bottom in the chart. All right. Okay, symbol request I will do in just a bit. Okay. Oh, Neil says you closed 50% on 81,000 and you want to buy back. Good. Yeah. I mean, for swing trading, yeah, maybe buy back at 74,000. I think this in fact could be a zone break retrace setup. I can see it here. We broke above resistance. We tested it here, came up, and maybe we may now test it again. This could be another time to get long at this level and then anticipate another bounce at this level. But yeah, of course, it's probably prudent to close out some of your profits right now and don't give it all back as we may retest this level. Absolutely. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so now a quick review of how we fared last week with our watch list. As you know, every week we are creating a watch list of symbols which seem interesting from a swing trading point of view. And let's see what we picked. All right, so I'm going to start with TGX just because it's been mentioned here. So I really like the symbol. I know it didn't perform yet the way I hoped for, but I think it's still okay. Why do I say this? So the idea was back last week that TGX would hold this level here at around 152. As you can clearly see, it did not hold it. But I think this level where it's right now might be the one where it's holding. You can see it a little bit here where this little red line is. This was a support level. It went out of scope, but even though the indicator thinks it's out of scope, it still may have relevance today. So prices came down to this level, bounced off a little bit. I could imagine that this could be the beginning of a recovery from this correction here. As we can see, it's still a very bullish symbol, even though we lost this level here. We only lost from all-time highs to current prices 11%. That's like nothing for a pullback. Oftentimes pullbacks are much more sizable. And even if we lose this level, I think the next step would be here. Even that would be still okay at 17%. If you also lose this, then you may have to think, okay, maybe we're going to see a whole shift in trend from bullish to bearish, but we are nowhere near there. So if you are in a position with TGX, I think I would keep it for now and anticipate a recovery to come. I personally am not in a position, so I don't really have this kind of. I didn't take it because I saw what happened on Monday when it opened, when we had this bearish action. But overall, if you go back here, it's just a very bullish symbol. So I would stick with it. These kind of corrections, they are normal. They happened here where we skipped a couple of levels and finally found the bottom. It may be the same case here with TGX. Yeah. And Kevin says earnings are coming out on May 20th. All right, let me just quickly see. Yeah, absolutely. You can see it, earnings right there. And yeah, well, once again, that's up to you. Now, if you want to stick with the earnings are always somewhat unpredictable. Prices may jump to either direction. So, yeah, but thanks for pointing this out, Kevin. Absolutely. So be aware of this. All right. So, let's go through this list together. That was TJX. Didn't work out yet how I anticipate, but many other picks we had from last week worked out really nicely. So let's start with the Bank of New York Mellon Corporation. All right. So here the idea was zone break retrace, meaning we broke above this resistance level here. You can see it here. We saw power through, push higher, and then a retracement. And we're down to the broken retracement level here. And as we said last week, this could be an interesting long opportunity. Worked out nicely. Prices jumped higher. And if you are in this trade, hopefully you booked some profits as we were approaching resistance here. Because that's the idea of a swing trade, right? So we had our nice move, we made some profits, but you have to keep the levels in mind. So resistance was coming up here. That would be your area to book some profits. We bounced off a little bit. And I think on Monday, if prices are still in this vicinity, I probably would close out this trade and get close it out with a profit. All right, so that was that. The Grupo Cbest. All right, that was also a trade which actually didn't move at all last week. We said potentially, well, it is not potentially, it is a nicely uptrending stock. Currently correcting down to the support level here. We're still in the vicinity. We are basically at our entry level here where we want to get in. I still like this as a long trade. And if you're not in there, this could be an interesting one for the next week to anticipate a bounce off this level towards higher price levels. I would, however, put a pretty nearby stop, maybe around 60, because if you lose this level, I think it may go down much more, and I want to be out of this trade. So, but so far, so good on SIBO. Carpenter Technology Group, also a trade which fared quite nicely. Originally, we did come, yeah, we bounced up from this level here. This was also a zone break retrace trade, bounced up a little bit, then back into the soup, as the option professor would say, with Friday's price action, unfortunately. Now we're back to our status quo from last week. I still like it for a long entry. It's a very bullish stock. Look at trend radar here. Only level 4 pullbacks pretty much along the way, except for this one exception here. And I do like this one, even if you saw a bit of a pullback here, but we're still in our entry area. All right, so that was Carpenter. Now let's move on. Lowe's Corporation. Here we did see a nice bounce. You can see it here off support. So that one worked out nicely. This was our, a bounce trade off a key support level. Prices bounced up a bit. I think there's still more upside to come. So for me, the target would be somewhere around 111, 112 for this particular trade. Novartis. All right, so Novartis also bounced off support. So came back down a bit on Friday, but nonetheless, the bounce is in progress as we predicted. Parker Hannifin, PH, yeah, not as I was hoping for a bigger bounce quicker, but nonetheless, we're pretty much where we left off on the week before. So it's still valid. Level 4 pullback, actually level 5 pullback now if you look closely here. But nonetheless, it's a stock which has been in a very stable long-term uptrend. I do believe this will continue eventually, hopefully at the support level without any further break of the level. But so far, so good for this stock as well. And lastly, we have the State Bank of India. What do we see here? Also still at this level where we left off pretty much last week. All right, so far so good. I mean, it's a bit of a mixed basket, but many setups are still in progress. They haven't fully developed yet, so I'm quite hopeful that most of the setups will still pan out as expected. All right, so with this, I'm gonna quickly double check the questions real quick. No questions so far. Perfect. Except for individual symbol request. All right. Therefore, we're going to continue now with our scanning process for finding setups for the next week. So back to my slides real quick, just to reiterate, what are these setups we are typically looking for? Well, what we're looking for basically is a long trade. We want to anticipate stocks to rise or a symbol to rise. We're not looking to short a symbol. We're trying to keep it easy. We are looking for long setups. For this, it would be best if we are already in a stable uptrend. The trend is your friend. The chances that a trend will continue are simply greater than the chances are that the trend will reverse. We want to bank on this market observation. So for us, we want the stock to be already in a long-term trend. The longer the better, the more stable the trend is, the better it is. Secondly, we don't want to jump into a trend trade blindly. Right? This is rarely a good idea. We are patiently waiting for a pullback. Why? Because if you're jumping in at the top here, the chances of when prices are very extended, the chances that a pullback will happen are just quite elaborate. This is why also I'm not jumping into an SPY position right now. Even though we had a bit of a down day on Friday, we're still very extended. I want to wait for a pullback. The prices are coming down closer to the average lines. And we can find these pullbacks by looking at our trend radar indicator. The one down here, looking for either a level 3 or a level 4 pullback. We're calling these the healthy pullbacks because they're not too big. Because if they're too big, maybe we're going to see a full trend reversal, and also not too small, because very small pullbacks are not that meaningful. So right in the middle, right in the sweet spot. All right, so that's what we're looking for. But ideally, we want this pullback to coincide with a key support level. You can see it here. We would call this the bounce setup. The prices are pulling back to a key support level. And the idea is that prices will bounce off. So the name comes from bounce off this level towards higher price levels afterwards. That's the idea. And if you joined us in one of our lunch and learn sessions lately, you would have realized, or you would have not realized, you would have seen that, hey, there's a special bounce setup, which we like to point out every once in a while. Do you remember which one that is? Who remembers? It's this one here, the bullish power bounce. What is the power bounce? We know what a bounce is. Price comes off a support level in a bullish trend. It's quite similar with the bullish power bounce. There's just one more ingredient. Let me show you. So, first off, price approaches support. We're coming down from the top, that's important, down to a support level. Ingredient number one, we already knew this. Secondly, that's the new ingredient, and you probably know it. Secondly, is we want to see a liquidity capture event at the very last bar. You can see this little shaded area here. So these are the liquidity capture events. Sorry. See, it was too cold in Montreal. I got a bit of a cold, freezing freezing in this weather. Today is warm, so I expect to be recovered very, very shortly. So a liquidity capture event is an event where the candle comes close to a key level, like this big red candle here, cannot fully break it, it teases the level, and this candle has abnormally high volume, above average volume. If these things come together, we call this a liquidity capture event. And in our view, this is an event which increases further the odds of seeing a bounce and decreases the odds of seeing a break of the level. That's exactly what we want. And of course, the third one is that we are in a bullish trend to begin with. That's a bullish power bounce setup. I'm going to start today's scanning process by scanning exactly for this bullish power bounce. And you may have noticed that I had shared secretly last week, I didn't announce it anywhere, a watch list with our user. You may see it in your account right now. It's called Long Power Bounce. Do you see this one in your as a dynamic watch list in your dashboard? Everybody should see it there. This watch list has exactly the same criteria which I just mentioned. Bullish trend, liquidity captured the last candle, and we are near support. So please look out for this. It's long power bounce. It's shared with everyone, so you should be able to see it. If you don't see it, the reason might be you have disabled it in your settings here. You can go to the settings here, go to scanner, and then watch list selector. And I have a different selection here, but you should be able to see dynamic watch list here, watch list shared by Daniels, something like this. And bullish power bounce should be in there. All right, so please look for this. And now what you can do, you can use this watch list or long power bounce, as we called it. You click on it. And if you look at the filters here, you see we have exactly the same filters enabled, which I just described. Bullish for at least 500 trading days. You can see bullish greater than 500. You can see long bounce and long break retrace as our setups, meaning we're either at support or we are either near a former resistance level. And thirdly, we had a liquidity capture event at the very last bar. And the very first symbol that comes up is this one, alternation. I like it. I don't like the auto stocks too much because, car industry, I think there's going to be some trouble ahead of time. So alternation might be affected by this. But the technical setup, we don't want to get into fundamentals in this session. The technical setup is interesting. Look at this. This is a long-term bullish stock. We are now sideways consolidating, but long-term it's bullish. You can see it here. There's no question about it. It's a long-term bullish stock. We just corrected down to a key support level. We've been there a few times before, most notably here on March this year, down to it again. And we do have a liquidity capture event, this little shaded area, zoom in a little bit, at the very last bar. This one. Let me actually enable the label for this. 1 second. There we go. On liquidity capture on the last bar. All the three ingredients are coming together. I like this one for a bounce, but I would not trade it outright. The way I would trade this one is I would use some risk-protected strategy for this with options. And in fact, I may discuss this in our lunch and learn session again, where we have a bit more time for this. But the way to play this, in my view, and please correct me if you have a different viewpoint, in my view, is to look, first of all, at an options selling strategy. Why? The reason is easy. Look at what it says here. Heat index 14.45, meaning options are expensive right now. You would need to pay 14.45% premium for options with 30 days expiration at the money. Something along that way. That's a lot. Yeah. Many option prices are much, much cheaper. Look at this one here. 4%, 6%, 5%. That's a lot of premium. So buying an option is out of the question. It's way too expensive. I would never do it. But selling an option is an interesting idea. But I would do it in a smart way because I kind of have a feeling maybe we're going to see a shift in the stock, and I don't want to be caught into like a big drawdown. I want to protect my risk. So the way to play this with alternation, for example, would be by setting up what we call a bull put spread. That's a credit spread. We're selling a put. Actually, let me just build this real quick from scratch. 1 second. Hang on. Let me just take this away so you can see it. I don't want to spend much time, but maybe it's 1 more minute. So we would sell a put. So sell put. That's basically our classic option selling strategy. It's a bullish strategy at the money, around at the money, maybe at 185, give or take. I would collect about $705 for that put. Actually, I would change this a bit later on. So I would get a nice net credit for this. Okay, so if prices stay above 185, I would get to keep this credit. Perfect. But look what you see on the left-hand side. If prices are not staying above 85 and going down and down and down, look at how big my losses would be. $5,000, $6,000, $700, only to gain $700 credit. Maybe not the best idea for this particular symbol, because I think there's a chance this may happen for this one, because there might be a shift coming. What you can do to mitigate your risk is you can buy a put to cap your downside. So what you can do, you can add a long put position here, buy put it a bit lower, maybe at 180 or something, and you can see, okay, if I buy a protective put, I will still get net credit, 492, and my downside is kept, let's say $1,000. Will stay where it is. The way I would do it, in fact, because I think what's going to happen, of course, I might be completely wrong, but the way I see this is I think we're going to see a bounce of this level, not just a little bounce. We might be coming back up to this level here around 220. Maybe the next, maybe not the next week, but maybe the next couple of weeks. If that happens, I probably would sell a put maybe at 195, around that level. Let me just do this here. So increase my strike price a bit further. I would collect much more credit here, $1,000 credit now for this entire thing, and would put my, I guess, we also kept my downside a bit by buying the call a bit more, what closer to the strike price. I kept my risk at around $600 only, and would gain $865 for this kind of setup if it pans out. My break-even price being at 186, which is fairly close to where the current price is. In fact, well, not too close, but it's not far off. Something like this, I think, could be an interesting idea for this particular setup. Okay, so to be discussed further in our Lunch and Learn session next Tuesday. Okay, so moving on. So what's the next one? Vistra Corp. Let's check it out. Okay, Vistra Corp. Let's have a quick look. So also here, we are longer term bullish, kind of in a sideways or in the consolidation phase here. Yeah, this one doesn't feel, I mean, we are, of course, at the support level, but I think there might be a chance of coming down all the way to this level here. So I probably will not engage into this one. But before I actually move on to other symbols, let's create first a watch list for our new symbols. So I'm going to go back here real quick and create a watch list for next week. Create, there we go. Weekly swing trades, colon 2026. 0516 today. All right. Oops. 05. That's our new list. I will create it. There we go. I will now share this list with you. There we go. I'll share this list with you, and I will unshare the list from April 11 as per our agreement. And I will now add alternation as my first symbol to it. There we go. All right. Done. First symbol added to our new list. Okay, so Vistra, it doesn't feel right for me. I think we're gonna skip this one. It looks a bit bearish to me. It looks like this level here might be broken, and we might come down all the way to the 90 level here. So I'm gonna skip it. BXB.AX, an Australian stock. Let's check it out here. downward, which also looks a bit, you can see it here making lower highs along the way. This is like a downward facing wedge. I think we might lose this this level as well. I'm gonna skip it here. Turn to focus on the setups which look the best to me. Saffron.pa. What country is that? Is that Portugal? Probably not. Huh? Let me just quickly see. What's the exchange? 1 second. Exchange. Paris. Ah, Paris. Okay. Ah, yeah. She sounds a bit French. Okay. All right. What do we have here? Okay. Long-term trending stock, an uptrend, a correction now down to this key support level. The only thing here with this one is that we kind of lost this level beforehand. Now we're back to it. I think the more important level would be this green level here at around 263. I'm going to wait this one out too. I'm not going to add it to our list. PH. I'm tired of adding this symbol every day to our list. It's just getting stuck here. I still like it. I'm going to add this one for our list next week. Maybe call me stubborn, but I think this is still interesting. I think we're going to see a bounce off this level eventually towards higher price levels and at least fill this gap here, this down gap here. All right. Banco de Chile. All right. Yeah, also interesting. We had it last week, I believe. I'm not going to re-edit now, even though it's definitely still completely valid as a long setup. But I want to focus more on mainstream symbols this week. So we had it last week already, so I'm not going to edit for this week. Safco Industries, and I'm going to change it up in a second just to see what we're seeing here. You know, the only small problem that we had for our power bound setup is that some of these pullbacks, you can see it here, it's just a bit too big for my taste. Because we don't have the trend radar filter included in this one. I'm going to change this in a second. So some of these moves down, they just don't sit right. So also this one I would skip and not add it for next week. But this one here, GE Aerospace, I still like. Yeah, we've had this, I think, we're trying to do the same setup for the third time in a row now. We traded it here. I remember I had a position here. We called it out back in March. Then we traded here on April. And now once again, we're back in the soup here. You know what? To me, it's rinse and repeat time. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to add GE Aerospace to our list for next week as one setup. Rinse and repeat. I like it. Bounce off this level towards higher price levels. At the minimum, this resistance level here at around 318 or 320. All right. Perfect. So what do we do next? Now, I want to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to clear my filters and let's go back to where we came from. So what does that mean? Let's do our classic scan on. We want to see bullish stocks. Of course, this is not, we always do this. Bullish at least for 500 trading days. Next, let's look for a healthy pullback as per our trend radar indicator. Maximum, just like what we had here of GE Aerospace, maximum 4 levels down. The last level, actually, it's not the case. Yeah, went a bit further down. The last level should still be green. Okay, so pullback, level 3 or level 4. And in fact, the first one that I saw here, let me quickly sort here by trend duration. Do we still have it here? Now, I wanted to, actually, let's just keep it the way it is. Let's open up here, Cameco, CCJ. And then I have one more here I wanted to discuss. So what do we see here? So Cameco Corporation, it's a nice stock. It's it's been very bullish for a long time, consistently strong, and you can see level 4, level 3 pullbacks along the way, all the way since May last year. So it's been 12 months. It's been consistently grinding higher, and every time it saw some sort of a pullback, this was an interesting long entry opportunity. And I think this is still the case here. So still a bit too far away from the support level here to be flagged by the scanner. But nonetheless, I feel that, hey, maybe now it could already be time to scale slowly into a long position, anticipating another bounce off this level towards higher price levels. So I'm going to add this one into our watch list. So put a little annotation here that, off this level here, we may see the bounce. This would be the ideal entry point, but perhaps scaling in right now could not be the worst idea. And in fact, one thing you can also do, if you think, hey, this is the ideal entry point, maybe sell some puts. at this price level, collect the premium, and if prices come down to them, you get assigned, okay, you want to take this trade anyways, and if not, at least you get to keep the premium. And this is possible because the heat index is 9.23, 9% premium. That's pretty good. So I'm going to add this one to our list. All right. There we go. And the next one is this one here. The Hawkins ink. Okay. Nah, that's not something I want to trade. It's too volatile. We do have a zone break retrace set up here, but it's not it's not clean enough. So I'm gonna skip this symbol. Okay. But of course, there's one more criteria missing. So now we have long-term uptrend, level 3 or level 4 pullback, but we're nowhere near a key level yet. That's missing in our criteria here. So we're going to use Liquidity IQ, this filter here, to search for long bounce or long break retrace. Let's see what we find here. Okay, first one. What is this stock? This is Bell Fuse. Oh, I like this one. Look at this. No idea what this stock does. Let me quickly see what they do. Designs, manufactures, markets, and sells products that power, protect, and connect electronic circuits. Oh, okay. All right, let's see. Oh, I guess that's whatever it might be. Okay. All right, so that's what this stock does. It's an electronics. Zone break retrace setup, classic setup here. Long-term uptrend for how many trading days? For 1,047 trading days. Level 3 pullback and at a former resistance level. I like it. I'm going to add this to our list. Perfect. Oops. 1 second. Done. Okay, SBS is the next one. What do we see here? The Brazilian stock. I saw this one before too from Sao Paulo. They are in the process or in the business of, I read this somewhere, of cleaning the water, I think, in Sao Paulo. And for someone who spent a lot of time in Sao Paulo, I can tell you that is an important business to have. I've seen the rivers in that city and the canals, and they were scary to say the least. Yeah, sanitation services. Okay. I guess it's not a surprise that this stock is been trending high quite a bit, coming down now. I personally probably will not trade. It's maybe a bit too much out there for me, but nice uptrend coming down to this key support level. Perhaps for some of you a bit more adventurous, yeah, looking for a long position here. But I will add it to our list. Why not? All right. And oops, I'm so nervous with my mouse today. Next one is Alamos Gold. This one I like. I think I will possibly also act on this one on Monday, depending on where the market opens. Why? Long-term uptrend, nice pullback, close-ish to the support level here. There's a gap to be filled here. And I believe, of course, this stock this is not rocket science, is correlated very strongly with the actual gold price. I believe in the medium term, and especially in the long term, gold will continue to go up. If that is the case, this stock will profit from this. So even in the longer, so these are the ideal scenarios. It's a nice swing trading setup, but also I believe this could be a nice long-term investment as well. So for these two reasons, I definitely will look into this on Monday when the market opens to see if this is something I want to trade, and then also probably here we'll consider an options play to make this trade, potentially another credit spread here as well. Let me just quickly see what are the option prices for Alamos Gold. Do we see it here? Did my heat index go away? Second, no, I'm not seeing it. Oh no, it's here. Jesus, sometimes you don't see the trees for the forest. That's right here. Heat index. It's a long day. It's my second webinar now back to back. 11.51, high options premium. I like it for a potential long entry. So I'm going to add this one to our list. All right. Jesus. All righty. There we go. Okay. All right. Maybe one more for our list for tomorrow. What else do we have? This is FTAI Aviation. Okay. Too choppy for my taste. We are down to support. This support level was lost here. Probably lost some strength because of this. I will skip it. All right. This is a stock from. What is the stock? On OTC stock. Oh boy. All right. Nonetheless, let me see here. Nice uptrend for this particular symbol. They paid dividends and they announced earnings. Okay. So I guess even though this is an OTC stock, nice uptrend here down to this key support level. Well, could be an interesting idea to potentially look for um, a long trade right here. DivX date coming up on May 25th for this particular stock, but I think I'm going to skip it for my watch list for tomorrow. All right. Another one I see here, it's not listed in here yet because it's a bit too far away, but you can see some iShare Russell mid-cap stocks being listed here. I think the Russell itself is at an interesting point right now. So I'm going to go back one more time to where we started with the IWM, the Russell 2000. I kind of like it here for a long entry. If we come down a little bit further on Monday, I think there's a chance market will get down a bit further. If we do, potentially around this level, look for a long trade in the Russell, anticipating a bounce off this resistance level, former resistance level towards higher price levels. I'm going to add this one as our stock for next week as well. Perfect. And I think this is going to be it for next week. You can see there are more candidates you could consider, but let's keep it simple for next week. I want to keep some time for your simple request. We're already at the 1 hour mark. Let's just quickly review what we have, and then we're going to get to your symbols. I'm going to go down to our watch list here. We have 8 different symbols. Not bad. Let's quickly go through them. Symbol number 1 is Gamiko. Level 3 pullback, or level 4 pullback, coming closer to a support level. Maybe something to scale in. I'm going to add it to our trade notes. The last time we had Kamiko was on November 15. You can see it here. It was down to at 84. Now it's trading at 106. Crazy. Okay. Anyways, let me add another trade note to this with today's time step. Perfect. It's really nice. This is why I love these trade notes. You can, come back to see, wait, when did we consider a symbol for the last time? See, a few times we had Kamiko already on our radar. It's pretty cool. Alternation. I kind of like it for a credit spread. A bull put credit spread for Monday. Option prices are extremely high. If they're still high, if the setup looks similar when the market opens, I will consider it. So I'm going to add this one to our list as well. All right. So alternation for next week. Okay. Belfuse is the next one. It's like I never heard it before, but I like the uptrend a lot. Long break retrace setup. I like it for a long. I'm adding it to our list. All right. Next one is SBS, the sanitation stock in Sao Paulo. Yeah, well, somebody needs sanitation. It's probably Sao Paulo. So I'm going to also add this one. I'm just curious what happens. It's a nice setup off a support level here. Long-term uptrending stock for 1,037 trading days. Let me add it as well. Oh, we had this one before. Let me just quickly see. When was that? That was, it's a bit hard for me to see here on my tiny screen. 22 on November 17. When was that? Oh, it was down here. Oh, look at this. That was a cool, we took this trade here. We pointed it out here. Beautiful move up. All right. I'm encouraged now, even more. Let's put it back on the radar for this Brazilian stock from Sao Paulo. Okay. Safe. All right. AGI. Alamos Gold. I like it. I also like actually a SLV as well for potential long. Actually, let me put this to our list too. Both of these as well. Gold and silver, interesting. This one I like for gold for an individual stock. Potentially also with a cash secure put or a credit spread for a bull play here. So I'm going to add this one to our list. All right. Alamos Gold. Add this one as well. Okay. Parker Hannifin. You know what? We already had it in our alerts so many times in the notes. I'm going to skip it, adding a trade note for this. We had it last week and the week before. I still like it for a bounce, but I'm not going to add a trade note for today. GE Aerospace. I think that's rinse and repeat. We did it here. We did it here. Do it again here. Let's add it to our notes. All right. You can see it here. It was right here. April 25th. That's when we said rinse and repeat. Worked up beautifully. Let's do it again. All right. Okay. And lastly, the Russell. Yeah, if we come down a bit further, it's not quite there yet, but I like the level 3 pullback on the Russell here. Let's add this one as well to our list. All right. Perfect. I'm not gonna put silver there. You've seen my silver ideas anyways already. So let's just keep the list the way it is. Now, this sums up our interactive scanning. But before we get to your symbol request, a quick reminder that if you, one second, where are my slides? If you want to try our dashboard, you can try it out for a full week completely for free. I guarantee you, you will find at least 5 really interesting setups in the next 5 days, because this is something you can do after every single trading day, not just on the weekend. And in our last Lunch and Learn session, I showed you my swing trading routine, which basically starts at 8:30 in the morning, my time here in Montreal, which is Eastern Standard Time. I do a quick scan. It takes me 10 minutes. Get a short list of symbols I find interesting. Then when the market opens, I will double check, hey, where is the current market price? If I still like what I see, I simply then execute the trade when the market opens. So we execute a trade on Afinal, for example, on Tuesday morning based on what we saw. Credit spread, which is right now pretty much at break even. Not much has happened there yet, but I'm still hopeful it's going to develop in the right direction. So this is something you can do every single trading day. And the source of inspiration comes directly from our Liquidity View dashboard. So the link is here to sign up for a free trial. It's tradingindicators.com/view. All right. With this, guys, let's now get to your symbol request. So, Niklas, do we have any symbol
Yeah, let's
requests?
go with, did we already look at TJX?
Yeah, we
Okay,
did.
then AMD.
Okay. AMD, let's have a look. Okay. There we go. Oh boy. Yeah. Very extended, huh? Similar to Intel, huh? Like all these semiconductors are pulling up high. We have a level 1 pullback now finally on AMD. To me, it's still too expensive to jump onto this trade now. This gap scares me a little bit here too. This up gap, which is a bearish pattern. I personally would wait for a deeper pullback. Not sure if it will come, so I may be completely wrong. I've been in the past, of course, like everyone, but it's just not something for me. I personally would wait for a pullback and then potentially jump into a long trade here. All right.
Cool. Checking the next symbol. What do we have next? We have GDX. GD like David X.
GDX. Okay. Oh, gold miners. Yeah, probably a similar scenario to what I said. Yeah, all these gold plays, I think they're interesting. Also, here we came down. It's just not close enough yet to the support level, but the idea, of course, is always the same. Looking for longs after these pullbacks here. It's a level 4 pullback on trend radar, long-term bullish scan trend. A nice down gap here, which is screaming to get filled for this price would need to come up to 94. I like it. Yeah, I like it for long. I think Alamos is the one I like the best because it was really close to support level. This one is still a bit further away. It's kind of still in the middle between support and resistance, and it may come down a bit further. But if it comes down here towards this level, man, yeah, for sure. Interesting. Long
Next one
trade.
is NVIDIA.
Yeah. NVIDIA. Alrighty. Okay. Yep. Looks like a zone break retrace in the making to me. So all-time highs here on Thursday. What a move up. And they still have earnings coming up on May 20th. Wow, that's going to be interesting next week to see what NVIDIA earnings will bring. As a for no surprise for you that the expectations for earnings are astronomical for NVIDIA. Not just the not just the expectations of the numbers themselves, but also the guidance that NVIDIA will give how it sees the next years and semesters to pan out. So that's going to be super interesting. Yeah. May 20th, something to watch definitely for next week. Overall,
What
I
do you
probably
think?
would,
Oh,
yeah, would wait for the earnings to come out before I do anything. It's very expensive up here, or is that extended, and there is definitely a chance of a bigger pullback. But overall, NVIDIA, very bullish. Mhm.
what do you think would be a good stop loss on ATO?
ATO. Okay. ATO, one second. Oh, Utmost Energy. Okay, let's have a look. Ooh. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Atmos Energy. We broke this level. Level. Still level 4 pullback. Let's see. I mean, it really depends how. This is a very nice bullish stock. Maybe a bit of a bigger retracement right here. These ones are not fully uncommon. I mean, if you want to give this trade a lot of room, you can put your stop all the way down here at 162, which might be a bit too much. But in the end, the prices are very it looks really big here in terms of price move, but it's just because I zoomed in so much. Let me just see how big this retracement was from top to bottom. It was only 7%. So yeah, I probably would put it somewhere here around 160 maybe. Give this trade a bit more room to pan out, especially since these are just small moves. So this level may not hold, but this would be the next level to consider. And I probably would probably stop somewhere here.
Cool.
Yeah.
RIO. Did we already look at that?
R
Rio Gold.
RIO. No, not yet. This Rio
Aubrey
Tinto.
says zone break retrace, long for pullback plus liquidity capture. Close to a
Yeah.
liquidity.
Yeah. Wow. Rio Tinto, huh? All right. Yeah. Look at this. Nice bullish trend here since October 2025. Zone break retrace. Yeah, huge gap to be filled here too. I like it. Yeah, level 2 pullback. I like it for a long. Yeah, good one. Especially with this gap here. Interesting stock to have. If this uptrend continues, I think this is very likely this down gap here will close. The price will need to come up to at least to 109. What's the heat index? 8%. Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
The next symbol from Derek here is LAES.
LAES?
Yeah.
LAES. Seal SQ Corp. Okay. Yeah, nothing for me here. It's too all over the place and it's bearish. And so even for if you would as bearish, I wouldn't play this to the long side because we're right at support. And since it's bearish, I also would not short it right now because we're facing support. Nah, not my cup of tea. Yeah.
Okay, the next one is IREN. This is from Tanya.
Say that again, Nicholas.
IREN. IREN.
Oh yeah. Yes. Oops. There we go. 1 second. Okay. Iron. Okay, I am. And I think we mentioned it. Didn't we say this last time, Nicholas, that it was right here and I said, hey, be careful, right at the resistance. There may be a bounce coming. Maybe it was not. I'm making this up, but
I'm not sure.
yeah, we bounced I bounced up resistance now, trading a bit lower. But that's good. That's the bounce that happened. I ideally would like to see this coming down, perhaps to these average lines here, and then look for a long entry. I think there might be a bit more momentum to the downside coming, but overall it looks bullish. Yeah, quite bullish here. Big move up, but this consolidation phase the stock is in right now, this may take some while. So wait patiently, in my view, for a bigger pullback and get in when prices are lower.
Can we look at Celestica? CELES.
Yeah, CLS, Celestica. Yeah, I'm curious. What's happening with Celestica? Oh, okay. A stock we had many times. I remember having some. What did I have? I believe cash secured puts on Celestica. Wow. Also zone break retrace set up here. Nice move up. We tested resistance here. Up again. Retesting it now. And here we are in this interesting cluster here of 2 levels or area where 2 levels are nearby. And in my view, maybe this is just observational. In my view, if that happens, 2 levels nearby, it's oftentimes the lower level, like this one here at 351, which is the more powerful, more important one. And then from that point of view, this could be a great zone break retrace. Yeah, nice entry point, level 3 pullback. I like it. It's a good one.
Cool. And then maybe a last one here, CVNA.
Yeah. I see also some questions there I want to address. CVNA. Oh, Carvana. Okay. All right. Let's have a look. Carvana. Oh, it's a bit too swingy for me. Yeah, like a big swings once in a while. I mean, again, here I would wait for prices to come down into this level at 57. And then potentially look for a long trade. Let me see what happened before this. Yeah. Bullish since July 2023. some swings here, but I think here, this level here at 56 would be the one I would be interested in. All right. Okay. So let me quickly have a look here for some questions we have from Van. Maybe get Daniel's updated 5/16/2026. What? Yeah, you will get it, Van. This is if you have the dashboard, I believe you do, you should have access to this watch list. Van, if not, send me an email. So you should see it in your account. In theory, I know you are, Van, I believe. I forget what your subscription was, but let me know if you don't see it, and I'll let you know what needs to be done to get this watch list. Okay? Maybe send me a quick note afterwards by email, Van. That'd be good. Perfect. Let me just quickly see some other things here. Aubrey says, oh, Rio we had. Yeah, perfect. Good. All right. Let me just quickly look at Amat too. There's one real quick. What do we have here? Applied materials. Long break from Oliver from Singapore. Man, Oliver, I can't believe you're staying on that late. That's very impressive. Yeah, I like it, but I would wait here for a retracement down to this level, potentially around the 400 level. I think this might be in the books. If it does, this could be an interesting yeah, long entry point there. Just real quick, maybe just CVNA. There we go. Oh, Kavana we had, and VST. Oh, VST, I believe we had Derek already very early on. I said I didn't like it too much, Vistra Core, because that level was already broken beforehand. Oh, no, it was not. Oh, wait a second. Maybe I was mistaken. Oh, no, I think here we said that I sensed a bit more downside action here when we reviewed this one. It's a power bounce setup. We have the liquidity capture here. Long-term bullish and near support. It feels bearish to me. It's like grinding lower and lower, making lower lows along the way and lower highs. That's why I disqualified it. But yeah, I mean, if you want to take a shot, now is the time to do it. If we lose this level, I think the next stop would be all the way down here at around 90 or around this level. Perfect. And ZM, Aubrey, soybeans meal futures. Is that what you had him? Oh, no, Zoom communication. Okay. All right. Ah, yeah. Zombreak retrace, another one. Yeah, nicely flagged here. Yeah, possibly. I mean, we are power Zoom users. Uh, I I'm very experienced with the webinar tools. I know Zoom does more stuff, but I use Zoom when we do our own webinars and we do um GoToWebinar, oftentimes with some partners. And then the worst is Webinar Geek, which I am forced to use when I do my webinars with CapTrader or some German companies. Oh, so yeah, I think Zoom by has the best product out there when it comes to these products, but it is quite volatile. This gap was closed to, which is okay. Down gap being closed in a bullish trend, it's kind of normal. Now zone big retrace, but yeah, I mean, if you want to take a shot, this would be the level. But the only danger in quotes I see is that once again, two levels very close to each other. He had 97, and this one he had 92-ish. Oftentimes, I kind of think it's the second one that is more powerful. Maybe wait for a bit of a deeper pullback towards this level and then pull the trigger. Good. All right, and Derek is saying, do you see a hockey shirt on my on me? Yes, Derek. I mentioned in the beginning. Today we're gonna celebrate the Habs Montreal Canadiens winning and getting into the next round. I'm telling you. So I'm in support of this game. Tonight at 8 o'clock, I'm wearing a Habs shirt. That's right. All right, guys. With this, think about getting a subscription for the dashboard. Sign up for a free trial. You won't be charged in the first week at tradingindicators.com/view. And lastly, if you have any questions which were not answered in this session, you can always reach out to us via our homepage, tradingindicators.com. Go to support, then contact, put your question into the contact form, and it will get straight to my inbox, and we will answer every single question personally. With this, guys, have a great day. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your time off. And we'll see each other on Tuesday again in our Lunch and Learn session. Until then, bye-bye, guys. Thank you. Here it says celebrate while you can. All right, we'll see. Bye, guys. Ciao.